Yes. Case. So originally, the people filed their complaint against you on January 20th of 2023, and then filed a motion to amend on January 23rd to include a domestic violence classification, to provide date range, and to consolidate case 2023 CR6 into 2023 CR5. The court granted that motion on January 25th, therefore adding the domestic violence aspect to the charges and consolidating 2023 CR5 and 2023 CR6. Because you do not have an attorney, Mr. Jamil, the court will have to advise you today of your rights and the charges that are against you. Do you understand that?
I do.
I had the volume.
Your Honor, for the record, Mr. Holmes, my co-counsel, has handed Mr. Jamil a copy of the first amended complaint in Los Animas District Court, case number 2023 CR5.
Thank you, Mr. Delmison. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Do you now have the amended complaint before you, Mr. Jamil?
The amended.
Correct. Is that what?
That's the charges.
Yes. Is that what Mr. Holmes just handed you?
Yes.
And it states amended in the title?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Jamil, I'm now going to read you your rights in this case. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say can and may be used against you in this court or in any other court. You have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford counsel, one will be appointed for you at state expense. You have a right to a jury trial. You also have a right to have a trial before this court. You have the right to have bonds set, and any final decisions made by this court, you have the right to appeal to a higher court. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, Mr. Jamil, the charges that are before the court are 6 charges. 3 charges of stalking in violation of CRS 183602. All 3 of those charges are class 5 felonies, which are punishable by 1 year in Department of Corrections custody to 3 years as a max sentence, and or a fine of $1,000 to $100,000. And those can attach to each of those charges. Do you understand that?
Now I can get, so you're saying I have to serve at least 1 year for each charge?
The minimum, the Department of Corrections charge could be from 1 to 3 years. It doesn't have to be, but that's a range that's open to the court. And those could be for each of those charges. Now, the 4th charge is harassment. That is a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor class 2.
Judge, I apologize. Just for clarification on the stalking, it's an extraordinary risk crime pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 18-1.3401, subsection 10B, Roman numeral 13, which would increase the maximum potential penalty to 1 to 4 years in the Department of Corrections.
Thank you, Mr. Dalmas. Did you get that, Mr. Jamil?
Did I get that?
Did you hear what Mr. Dalmas said?
I want like a clarification on it.
Sure, because of the stalking charges are what's called an extraordinary risk crime, the range that's available to the court is actually 1 to 4 years as opposed to 1 to 3. Okay. Now for the misdemeanor 2, Mr. Jamil. What's open to the court on a Department of Corrections sentence is 3 months to 12 months and or $250 in fine up to $1,000 for the charge of menacing. That's a misdemeanor 1 with a possible range of 6 months to 18 months and or fine of $500 to $5,000. The final charge, Mr. Jamil, is violation of a protection order in violation of 186.803.5, which is an M2, misdemeanor 2, that is. And again, that is a range of a possible sentence of 3 months to 12 months in Department of Corrections and or a fine of $250 to $1,000. Do you understand that advisement, Mr. Jamil?
I do.
We have some additional paperwork now, Mr. Jamil, because this case has been classified as a domestic violence charge or domestic violence case, I should say. We do have mandatory protection orders that have to be issued by the court. That's not within the court's discretion. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That will be listing yourself as the restrained party and as the protected party, Eualia Sekava. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, and this is a no contact order. So you cannot contact her either directly or indirectly. Do you understand that?
I do.
And no exceptions to that. And if you do violate this, this will be a separate crime. Do you understand that? Okay. Court is now signing the mandatory protection order pursuant to 18-1-1001. This is the first one, Mr. Jamil. There's a second mandatory protection order pursuant to the same statute, again, listing yourself as the restrained party. There are 2 or 3 actually protected parties on this. That is Draven. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Babue, Josephine Sekava, and Sophia Sekava. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. And again, these are going to be no contact orders. So you can neither directly or indirectly contact these parties. Any violation of this order will be constituted as a separate crime. Do you understand? I'm going to hand these to my clerk. She's going to bring it. Did you get that done?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So one last piece of housekeeping issues, Mr. Jamil. Because this is now a domestic violence case, in addition to the mandatory protection orders, again, the court does not have any discretion. The court has to inquire if you have any firearms, and if you do have to relinquish possession of those during the pendency of the case. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any firearms in your possession?
I do not.
You do not? Okay. Even so, you are going to have to fill out this affidavit, which I'm going to hand to Ms. Guzzo here, and she's going to bring it over to you. We're going to make sure that you get that completed today and filed with the clerk, okay? So,
Yes. No, I don't.
okay, that's right. And I'll wait for you to complete that, Mr. Jamil.
Your Honor, the people would just inquire if Mr. Jamil intends on applying for the public defender services or hiring private counsel.
Okay. Make sure to inquire of that, Mr. Dennis. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Who is that speaking?
Patrice Single, Assistant District Attorney in the 12th Judicial District.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Engel. Okay, Mr. Jamil, has that been completed?
Yes.
Okay. So while Ms. Guzzo is doing that, Mr. Jamil, Mr. Delmas has brought to my attention that it would be instructive for the court on whether you intend on hiring private counsel or applying to the public defender's office. Do you know? Have you thought about that yet?
I have not made a decision, but I believe that I'm going to get private counsel.
Okay. Do you know how long it'll take you? To do and hire somebody?
As much time as the court can give me because, financially, I'm not that well right now.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of time, more so than I would if you were just going to apply to the public defender's office. Mr. Jamil, we'll get you these dates confirmed before you leave, but I'm going to bring this case back on February 22nd, 2023. That's just under a month from today. Do you understand that?
Right.
Okay.
Can I ask if you could extend that, or is that the furthest?
I want to keep an eye on this case, so if you need a little bit more time, we'll consider it at that next hearing.
Right.
But hopefully you've got some arrangements by then and
Yes.
can at least update the court on where you are on that. Great, thank you, Ms. Guzzo. So lastly, Mr. Jamil, I have been made aware of something that happened this morning in county court in Judge Moshel's courtroom. It appears that there was some from what I could tell in reviewing the audio or the FTR system, some very inappropriate behavior on your part during Judge Moshel's criminal docket this morning. As a result of that, Judge Moshel rather found you in contempt on two different occasions, I believe. At first, he found you in direct contempt for 30 days, which would require a jail sentence of the 30 days to purge the contempt. And it sounds like the behavior continued, and therefore 60 days of contempt was attached to you by Judge Moshel, where no bond was listed. That would be a no bond hold, and would require you to serve those full 60 days for the contempt of court charge to be purged. Mr. Jamil, do you understand that, and are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of any inappropriate behavior. When was this? Because I just got to the court 5 minutes before my hearing.
That was this morning.
Yes.
That was this morning in county court, just down the way. You weren't in person, from my understanding. You were calling into the WebEx, the virtual courtroom. You don't remember that?
No, that was not me.
Okay.
That was not me.
Even so, Mr. Jamil, a warrant was issued for your arrest by Judge Moshel. That was done under his discretion. He believed that he had good reason to believe that that was you, and you did it knowingly. So you are going to be taken into custody by the Los Animas County Sheriff's Department today, okay?
When was this? I did not
Again,
get
this was this morning.
this morning before 12 p.m.
Yes.
So I did not get to Trinidad until after 1 p.m. That's when I got to Trinidad, 1 p.m. I was actually not in Trinidad until 1 p.m. today.
Okay. That could be. I was not the judge that issued the contempt. So this is something that will have to be taken up with Judge Moschel. This was a contempt finding that he made this morning during his criminal docket. You were not on the docket, from my understanding.
When was the inappropriate behavior?
It was sometime this morning, probably around 9 a.m.
I was asleep at 9 a.m. and then I woke up at 11 a.m. and then put my suit on, came down to Trinidad at 1 p.m. and that's when I came to this court.
I understand your statements, Mr. Jamil, and I appreciate that. However, again, this was a finding made by Judge Moschel, our county court judge, and I frankly don't have any power over what he found.
No,
So this is a current warrant. You are going to be taken into custody today, okay?
I need more of an elaboration of incident.
Your Honor, if I can object, this is Clayton LaPlatte. I'm the Chief Lieutenant of the Trinidad Police Station. We have been monitoring Zane's internet activity, and that was in fact him. So that bench warrant is in fact correct.
Okay, and who's speaking again?
This is Clayton LaPlatte, Chief Lieutenant of the Trinidad Police Station.
I do not understand.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that. We're going to be in recess on 2023 CR5. Mr. Jamil, we'll see you at your next court date, and you will now be remanded into custody.
Judge, all I know is there was an active warrant. I can't state in speaking with co-counsel, that's not Clayton LaPlatte. We don't know who that is, but there is an active warrant for contempt.
Okay. Is that person still on the WebEx? Where?
It's also my understanding he's no longer and hasn't been with the Trinidad Police Department in some time.
Where is that, Ms. Guzzo?